Hello, everybody. We're live. Welcome, welcome.
Hi,
And
everyone.
I want to introduce you guys to Donna Marie. I know some of these beautiful people are her followers on her channel. So hello, I'm Gallias, the Mystic Next Door. But I want to introduce Donna Marie today for her spectacular healing services. She's been a tarot and oracle card reader for many, many years, and just a talented reader. And I just wanted to sort of introduce her to the community, and we just want to have a little chat, right, Donna Marie?
We do, yeah.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure that people that have not been on your channel before, I did pin it in the comments and it's in the description. So Kelly is also a healer and reader, and she's absolutely phenomenal. So if you get a chance, please go subscribe over to her channel. She has her divining rods throughout the week. Can't remember what day, and then Saturdays you're on, and then you're also on, and you are asking questions,
Yeah.
political or and private, or
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, and so you've just introduced tell everybody what regular shows you do, Donna Marie, before, and then we'll have a little chat about it.
yeah,
We're kind of doing
regular
this backwards,
shows.
but that's okay.
Well, I actually do because I have a 9 to 5 job, so that takes a lot of my time. Actually, it's 7:30 to like 5:30 at night most days. So I'm not on a regular basis. It's kind of like I have a opportunity to collaborate, or I'll pop on it. When Spirit is telling me to really step up, somebody needs messages. But I do the energy work monthly. I just posted July's posting for each initial. So if you go onto my channel, you'll see you can pop in. Each one is time stamped. You can find your initial. So you can go your first initial, last initial, your business name, whatever. And then at the end of each one, there's a collaborative reading, a quick read. So you can pop over there as well. You can just hit the initial. When you hit the initials, just go into the description or into the comments, and it'll be all posted there. So it's quick and easy. And some of the stuff, like it really resonates when it's like I know somebody with that initial. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what they're going through. Like, am I reading for them particularly?
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's crazy.
and I hope everybody
That's really
enjoys
nice.
them.
Yeah, I've noticed that. And that takes a lot of time. So, hats off. We were talking about how both our jobs are demanding. And so we love, love, love coming on with everybody. But it is sometimes it's a scramble to get online. My job is busiest in summer. So then I have more time after that. But you're year round. So.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. Like, kudos to you, because I know how busy you've been. Like, for you and I even to collaborate. How many months? Like, this is like 5 months.
We've been trying for probably about 5 months now to connect our schedules. And I think earlier in the spring, you were sick, and then there were some other things going on. And anyway, here we are. We're here.
When the timing's right, that's when it happens. Yeah. So this worked out rather well. So
yes, absolutely.
And to catch you in the summer like this is phenomenal. So this is wonderful. Thanks.
It's kind of a miracle because so if you don't know me, I run summer camps for kids. And so, and I'm not talking about the kind where we're camping in the woods. We're talking about we do STEM-based summer camps. They're day camps. I get to send them home with their parents at the end of the day. So I'm not sleeping in a tent with kids, but, thank goodness, or I would probably be in a straitjacket right now. I love children, but there are limits. But anyway, it's really tough because it's 24/7, and it's kind of it's a lot. but I'm here, and I'm actually reaching toward we're in July now, so summer is going to be coming to a close. 3 more weeks after this one, and I get my freedom back.
Wow, and they'll talk about how fast that happens.
Oh my gosh, it does. Well, it feels like forever when I'm in the middle of it, but then I can start to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
But Can we go back and talk about your origin and how you got into, I call it the woo, how you got into this work, and just tell us a little bit about yourself. And before I let you do that, I want to tell all of our friends here that you are one of our Canadian
That's right. Yeah.
So I know we have a number of Canadians who follow and who are out there, and so we welcome you. And you get to watch all the mayhem to your south.
Yeah. Well, I think no matter where you are, there's mayhem wherever you are. So
True.
right? Yeah.
Anyway,
so
yeah.
Yeah, it's quite warm up here today. So it's quite muggy. So I'll be overheating for a bit.
Same
Feels
here.
like there isn't any air, and that's not normal here. It's usually back east is quite muggy. Here we usually have I live on Vancouver Island, so no matter which direction I go into, I'm going to hit the ocean. So it's
Nice.
usually we have a nice breeze. It doesn't get too sweltering here, but so to go back to where it all started. So I had a mom, thank goodness, who was a woo. And she was very open for me to learn, and she had me started as a teenager and she knew I had gifts, and so did she. So she just kind of brought me along. It was always like, hey, are you interested in taking this class? So I actually started taking tarot class and Reiki with my mom at a younger age, and this was before it was okay to be out in the open with it.
Oh, wow.
So this was like, it was all word of mouth where you went. I used to go to Psychic Circle with my mom, and it would be in somebody's basement or somebody's rec room with a group of women. And there would be the odd gentleman here and there, but it was mostly women. So my mom kind of opened me up to that. But because when I was younger, I had inklings of, like, my dad worked on the West Coast out on a fish boat. So he was away from the family, and I knew things were happening with him without even, like, we didn't have like, you didn't pick up the phone and talk and called. Like, it would be weeks sometimes before you would hear from them again.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew things were happening with my dad. And then, like, I knew that my parents were going to get a divorce. I went to my mom and I said, are you guys getting a divorce? And she was like, no. Wow. And I was like, okay. And she's like, where would you get that? Like, I don't know where. Like, I had never heard of divorce at that point. I didn't know what divorce meant, but I knew. And sure enough, shortly after they ended up getting divorced.
Yeah.
And things would happen to my dad out on the West Coast, and I would phone his wife because he remarried after, and I was like, what's going on with Dad? And she's like, oh, he's fine. And I said, no, there's something going on with Dad. And then I would know things. And then I think I was like 14, and she asked me, she goes, how do you do that? And I go, what do you mean? She goes, you always know. And I didn't think it was anything different. And then as a teenager, I had a girlfriend who was also woo. So, and we would kind of play with energy. Her and I would kind of play with, okay, let's guess who's on the phone, because back then there was no call display. It was rotary phones. You'd have to dial.
Oh, yeah. Right.
So she would call me, and I would know it was her before I would pick up the line, and I would pick it up and go, hi, how you doing? And she's like, how did you know it was me? Mm-hmm. And so her and I would play that way of like, okay, who do you think's on the phone? And so it was for me, it was kind of growing up and playing with the energy and playing with, and then spirit and then I learned how to do tarot cards and Reiki, and then doing different energy work. And so and then it became clairvoyant, and then it clairaudient, and then, clairs opened up, and it was just like things just opened up without me realizing that's what was happening.
I mean, it kind of sounds like your clairs were already pretty well open you just didn't know it. You weren't aware.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
And
Did you ever see spirit? Do you do mediumship as well? Did you ever speak
yeah,
or
I
feel?
had a half, yeah, I had a half brother, and in 1990, so this has got to be 1999, 2000. And I had just moved. Nobody in the family knew where I moved to. I just moved. Like I let everybody, yeah, I'm moving, but it was like, it wasn't somewhere where it was typically where I would have moved to. And I was getting ready for bed, and I turned around, and my oldest brother was standing in my bedroom, and I said, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "No, wait a minute. How did you know where I lived?" And he was standing there clear as bell, and he says, "Just tell Dad I did what I had to do. It's time for me to go." And I was like, "What?" And then he was gone, and I was like, "Okay." So I phoned my dad and his wife, and I said, "Is everything okay?" And they said, "Yeah, everything's fine." The next morning, I got a call, and my brother had passed away in India.
Oh my
And
goodness.
so it was him coming. So when we had the funeral, my dad was just devastated. And he, mind you, okay, so we were older. He was already, already had grown kids at that point. And so I told my dad the message, and it was, to me, it was like he did what he had to do on this earth, and it was time for him to go. That was his, he played out his life the way it was supposed to, and it's time to go.
Interesting.
So,
Wow.
and then after that, I get, I don't know if there's a famous, in Port Coquitlam, it's on up in BC, in British Columbia. There's the Picton farm, and it was this mass murderer, and unfortunately,
Oh,
but the property that I lived on, actually, like, I own the property, it kind of backed onto the property of the Picton farm, and we used to get movement in our house. We used to get, and I always thought the women who were coming to me, that were kind of like, I just had this sense of these women, and I thought it was my great aunt Mary and my great cousin, but it was actually women who had passed from this farm. And I didn't connect until later, after we found out, like, this was much later, when I found out there was actually, this guy was killing women there.
oh,
And it was many years later, and two of the women were those names, and I just freaked me out after. And my girlfriend witnessed some of it. And when my mom and my sister, when it was women in my house, when there was a lot of women of us in my house, that's when things would really ramp up. And I just thought it was because the women that were around me were very woo woo. So I thought it was because of their energy, but it was and we were sensed after, it was just the women were coming to join the women. So when my
yes.
mom and my sister were at my house, oh boy.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy.
Yeah. And what
Well,
about you, Kelly?
well, I feel like we have so many similarities. My mother was also quite psychic, but she wouldn't say it that way, right? She tucked it into her Catholic background, and even now she'll say, if somebody's struggling with something, she'll say, "Oh, I'm gonna put in a message with Saint." She talks about Saint Claudine. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it was like the patron saint of her high school or something like that, her Catholic high school. But you know what I mean. And my mother used to know things, always knew if something, we all have motherly instincts, but um, she would know. Yeah, she had knowings, and then she would recognize that I was doing some similar things, but I didn't really know any different at the time. And I remember she used to say, she'd tell me later, like, you would come downstairs having had a full conversation with someone upstairs and ask who the man was standing there, and I was just matter of fact about it, and um things like that. So, but then I also, it was terrifying too. So, like so many
Yeah.
people, I probably shut everything down. I know that I did, because I mean, I slept with my light on until I was probably, a teenager. I was terrified of the dark, and when I was all alone, I could always feel just so many presences around me. It was just,
Mhm.
it was almost like when I had that quiet time, I would always feel energy around me. And as I got a little older too, and we'll talk, I know you're going to talk about your healing work, but I kind of backed into this by way of energy healing and kind of really tuned it back or turned it back on um, through my just attraction to all things kind of natural healing. I've always, even as a young child, had great skepticism of, a lot of like modern medicine versus natural healing, and so things like that. um
Mhm.
Bernadette feels the same way. Yes.
Yeah.
um so, and I'm sure many of you do. So I did start studying, again, the woo. I did not have the benefit of being able to sort of talk about it that way with people in my life. So I tucked it into other things. Like I started studying holistic healing, but more through like I have a it was a graduate degree in certificate, like a 2 year long certificate. So I call it a degree, a 2.5, 3 year long. So it really took a while
Mhm.
in nutrition therapy, energy in food, energy in objects. And prior to that, I had when my kids came along, I studied um, acupressure, healing with the hands, and just saw incredible, like miraculous experiences with the kids when they had, you know, earaches and, belly aches or a chronic cough and, those sorts of things. I didn't practice it for a living, but I did it. I offered it to anybody who wanted it in my life. Um, and so just fast forward, I began to realize that they didn't have to be present with me to receive the healing. And
Mhm.
so, now most of the healing work that I do is remote, by remote, through
Mhm.
anyway, and it really was COVID that kind of kicked it in because we couldn't be together. And I realized that I could send healing to family members and people in my life who weren't, who were diagnosed with this, that, and the other. Anyway, and that's my story. But at the same time, the the psychic stuff started really kicking back in again. It was kind of like, it kind of hit me over the head. And some of the people on my channel have heard this story before, but I started like uh, hearing it's usually in my right ear. Um, I started hearing messages about neighbors who were about to die, or this one was cheating with his wife. And I'd find out like the next day or the week after that it had actually happened. And so it was really quite, just fun and interesting. And it reminded me, okay, I'm going to start really zeroing in on this practice a little bit more, because I'd always had it, but it was just wide open and willy nilly. And now I'm like, okay, I'm really going to,
Mhm.
I'm really going to, just like anything, you can study this work and hone your skills. Anyway, I recommend it to anybody because I think we all have it
Yeah.
to a certain degree. And so that's kind of where it really came full circle for me. And one story, I don't know if I've told this one. I remember probably about 5 years ago, I was home, and um, I felt like I was having a heart attack. My heart was pounding. I was really dizzy. I was sweating. I was hot, and no other symptoms ever, and no diagnosis prior to that or anything. And I called my husband. He came home. We called an ambulance, and I never knew what any of that was about. Um, Come to find out, I learned that my neighbor. This was all neighbors, like picking up on neighbors' energy. a neighbor who lived 3 doors down from me had a heart attack in his home and died, like right around the time that I was experiencing this. And so, again, these things, I just decided I was going to sort of take control and not have things happening to me so much as being more in control. And so that's where, that's my story, and maybe more like it. So
it's funny how you say that, because I had my best friend. I was actually taking my Reiki teacher course, and I was in the middle of it. And in the middle of the day, I started having a very bad coughing fit. And I was like, this is odd, because I didn't have any inkling all day, except all of a sudden it just overwhelmed me. I couldn't talk. I needed to stop. I needed to have some water. And I went, something's not right. So when I got out of the class, I had finished. I was driving home, and I phoned my girlfriend's sister-in-law, and I said, how is she doing? And she says, call me when you get home. And I said, no. We pulled over, and I called her, and sure enough, my girlfriend had passed at that exact time. So 12:22 for me is she's visiting me.
Well, is this okay? Can we tell the story of what happened with us? We had a Zoom meeting.
Yes.
Do you want to tell it, or shall I?
No, you go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she came to visit, yeah.
Trinity Twee. I do think you can get it back. Yes. And I don't know, for me, it's my right ear. I wish I had pulled this picture, a picture out. I had an aurograph, and you can see in the image, it's all blue, like a deep blue, which is usually associated with intuition and everything. And then I had like 5 whitish glowing dots above me, and then one kind of bigger blur to the right of me, and a pale turquoise line that went right into the side of my ear. And I have a ringing in that ear all the time. And, people are like, you can fix that, and I'm like, no, this is a part of me. This is my guidance. Anyway, but let's talk about the story about your friend. And what was her name?
Leslie.
Okay, yeah. Leslie. So Donna, Marie, and I were chatting. We were on a Zoom together, and I don't even remember what we were talking about. But out of the blue, my phone says, "Do you remember what it said?" It said something like, It was kind of like Siri coming on, saying, "I don't understand that," or "Can you explain?"
Yeah, it was. Your phone started going off. It was...
And I looked at so I was like, that's weird. And I looked at the phone, and I held it up for Donna Marie, and it was 12:22, which was exactly when her friend had passed.
Yeah.
And so her friend had injected herself into the conversation and was just saying hello.
And she does. Like, she has set off my alarm system in our home. She has set things off. And after my mom passed away, electronics, just every time somebody who passes away that I know, they affect my electronics.
Yes.
And after my mom passed, I worked at the courthouse, and I was a court registry clerk. So I would sit in front of the judge when in criminal court, and all of a sudden my screen would go blank, then things would all scramble. And usually when that happens to the computer, then the recording stops as well. And I would have to stop and say, "I'm sorry, Your Honor, but we are not recording."
Mm-hmm.
So one of the judges one day just said, "Donna, if I wasn't behind you, I wouldn't have believed it."
Yeah.
He said, but he saw it, but the recording kept going. And this was right after my mom had passed away, and I was going back to work. Mm-hmm. And it was like she was there, and she was just letting me know that she was with me, and that she was going to. Yeah. So I believe that our past loved ones, they come in and they visit you always.
Oh, we have electronic stories too. And it's interesting because a couple of years ago, my husband was going through some really, really difficult stuff with his work and an embezzlement. And it was just, he he would come home just wrecked. And as soon as his energy would walk in the door, all of the lights would flicker. It was like his own energy and his guidance were with him and just surrounding him. And the lights in certain rooms would just flicker for no apparent. I mean, I lived in an old house, but it wouldn't really do it all the time. It was just when he was around. And I knew, I had a knowing that it was his mother who passed, about 15 years ago. So again, I do think that they come through to us that way. And they were so insistent because I think they were just so, they were just really trying to surround him with love and support. So
that's, but whenever somebody's going through a tough time, just know that your guides and angels and your spirit team is there, and they are like, when I can feel it's and I have Vikings on my side as well. I have 4 Viking spirit guides. One's in front of me, one's in the back, and 2, and they've got their chain link on, and I can feel them go ching 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 ching, and it's like they will get so tight on me. I can feel them. They actually make me sit up straighter, and they make me stand straighter. And it's like, oh, okay, and then right away I know, okay, be wary. I can feel that something. They're there. They're protecting me, and they're
protecting.
Yeah.
Mine is more, I would say mine are more, I don't have that kind of guide. Mine is more angelic. I always feel more angelic energy because it feels, there's a feeling, there's a sense of flowiness and lightness, but power. And that's how I interpret it. And so I have to ask this question that Daniel asked, if your parents were fans of the Osmonds because of your name, Donna Marie.
No, that is Marie was in the family, and then my mom wanted me to have an English name that people in Finland could also pronounce. So then it was Donna Marie, and
well, Finland, hence the Vikings, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I have angelic guides and spirit guides, but when the Vikings come in, it's like my ancestors are there and they're protecting, and like whenever I can feel them, like right now because I'm talking about them, they're here, and all the hairs are standing up because they're letting me know that like there are times that something will happen. Like it's at one point it's time to honor my ancestors as well. So I have to make sure that I thank them, and it's like the little things like cooking something that I grew up with that is a traditional dish, or
Oh, wow. Amanda's half Finnish. Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I have some Scandinavian blood. I understand. They emigrated to Germany before they came this way. So that's all I know. That is all I know. But most of my people are Irish.
Well, then that's another. Oh, the very strong spiritual connections, and for them coming to visit,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and pranksters.
Let me ask you. Okay, I see the heat because it's really it's like 98 degrees, and which is unusual in Denver, Colorado. I mean, we're apparently people who grew up here never had air conditioning, but I don't know how. I don't think they needed it then, but now it's really, really hot. But I see you doing this. Do you have AC in Vancouver?
Yeah, we do. We have AC. But I've shut the doors because otherwise the animals come in. Like my animals have, whenever I'm doing readings, they get clingy. All of a sudden they come in, and they're.
You may have seen me turn because as you were talking about your brother walking in your room, I heard this noise behind me, and my dog had done the same thing. I have to leave the door open, or else they'll scratch the door down.
Well, they know if the door's closed, it's a no-go, because whenever I'm on camera, the cat has to come up, the dog comes in, starts panting, starts moving the table.
Oh my gosh. Yep. And most people know I have my cat on my shoulder. I call him my grandkitty, but he's really my cat. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
My son's cat, who his overstate is well, we love him. We love him.
Yeah.
Venus Pisces says, not long after my dad passed, when I went to turn off my TV, it would turn back on again. Wow, that's wild. Let's see.
Yeah,
My dog
we
ran
had
to the end
one
of
of
the
our friends passed, and we didn't know he had passed. And this was just around Halloween, and so we had like this plastic pumpkin. We didn't have a real pumpkin, you know. We don't have kids here anymore, so
Yeah.
we didn't carve pumpkins. So we had this plastic pumpkin, and we would put on the lights and whatever. And I was getting up and getting ready in the morning for work, and I'm in our bedroom, and all of a sudden the bedroom TV goes on, and I'm like, what the heck? So I go and turn it off, and I'm getting ready and doing stuff, and I go back in, and it's on again. Now, this is where you needed two remotes, one to turn the TV on and one to...
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the heck? So I turned it off again. I'm going to take the dog out for her morning walk, and one of the flashlights is on in our entranceway, and it's dark. So if it was on overnight or if it was on earlier, I would have seen it because it was illuminating into the hallway. So it was noticeable. And I was like, what the heck? So I took the dog out for a walk. I come back in. My husband goes, oh, by the way, the pumpkin was on. I'm like, what? Because it was like, I just walked by it. I would have noticed it on while I went out because it glowed, and it wasn't glowing.
Oh, wow.
So then we found out, I think later that day, or was it the next day, that we found out our friend had passed away. And we're like, oh, okay. So yeah. So it's, yeah.
Excuse me, they come through anyway. They think they're going to catch your attention, right? Craig says my lights on at bedtime to remind me to go to sleep. That's Clara, right? Also lights on in kitchen when I forget to eat.
Yeah.
Somehow I never forget to eat, Craig.
Yeah, I don't have that problem either. It seems to keep reminding me. It's like, the light should go off to say, I've had enough, but
exactly. Like, shut the lights off when I'm standing in the kitchen, like with my looking in the fridge. Anyway, but let's go back to the healing stuff, because I want to talk about, now you said that you are, you're a Reiki master and teacher. And I also was trained in Reiki as well. That's not my primary. Like I said, my first was acupressure. It's called High-Touch Jin Shin, similar to Jin Shin Jitsu. But I am trained in that modality. And what else? What other modalities do you do?
I do the emotion code.
I love emotion code. Yes, we've talked about that.
Yeah, it is amazing. And I am, I'm still reading about the body code, but there's also an energy, hands-on energy that seems to have evolved as I've been doing Reiki and emotion code. And then I'm right now in the process of becoming a certified hypnotherapist. Nice. So this is, and this is what cracks me up is when, before I do a session, sometimes I'll do a meditation or a bit of a hypnotherapy, which kind of brings you back a bit. And then the energy and it can be distance and it can be online. Nice. And sometimes the ancestors or some family members come in.
Yeah.
And it starts getting really funny because they do funny things to get your attention as you're concentrating. So, people will be concentrating on, I want to release this tension. And then they come in and they go, you have to have joy in your life and bring it up. And so they'll start doing silly things and when I'm doing some of the energy work, people actually see their mom who's passed over or something. And it's very emotional because sometimes they even, like, it's part of the energy stuff that happens is that mom or somebody that's very strong in a person's life will come in and they can actually have a conversation.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. And so, okay, what would you Well, first, let's step back a little bit. You want to tell people what emotion code is? Because you and I talked about this
Yes.
before. I think
So
I'm going to say just one really quickly, and sorry to interrupt you, but
yeah,
we both come from um, a, a belief that um, most healing work, most disease or chronic illness comes from stuck emotions that our bodies have held onto and they can't move through. And so go ahead and
yeah,
talk about it a little bit.
yeah. So the emotion code is now I learned through Dr. Bradley Nelson, and the emotion code is the belief that we all throughout our life, since even it can be before you were even born, it's through your ancestors, and it comes with you as a child, or it starts happening and we go through things that some people go, oh well, that's not trauma, that's nothing. But what happens for one person can really stick with them, where another person, they brush it off. So if say you're 5 years old and you'll have Auntie Sue come over, and Auntie Sue goes, oh, well, you shouldn't be eating that cookie. Well, every time that you go to have a cookie or something, you just kind of have this, you don't know why, but you have this uncanny upset feeling, or you just,
Yeah,
there's
you're
something about
triggered
it,
somehow. Yeah.
something triggers, but you can't put your finger on it. So, but you know that you react in certain ways with things, or that, it could be that your dream job, you've trained for it, you've been applying for it, but something is holding you back. And so this is the practice of going back, finding where that trapped emotion is, because it could be something, even though it could be something that when we dig into it, is that you actually don't feel you're worthy of it. You think, oh my God, like there is something that is trapped from when you were a child or younger in your past, that you actually feel that you don't deserve that job, because it might be just that something someone said way back that you you don't deserve this. And it could be, and then for some reason, and people forget all about it, but it stays with them. And then when it's released, it's this lift. And it's also, there's the heart wall that is involved with it as well. And that's another big one, is we do things to protect our hearts. We've been hurt in the past, so we put up these walls around our heart, and we forget that it's safe to love another person, and we forget that it's okay to be a little bit vulnerable and take that chance. And it's breaking down that heart wall, and it's then you start living, the relationship comes in that you've always wanted, and it's, but something's always kept it kind of at an arm's distance, or you keep going into the same repetitive.
Yeah.
So, and
Patterns.
the emotion, yeah. And Kelly, the emotion code is like, it digs in, and it's,
It digs in. And sometimes it's not even, it doesn't dig, sometimes it's very surface level. Other times you've got to really kind of search for it. And it could, like you said, it could be just a comment that, Aunt Jane made when you were 5, or something much more traumatic, right? Of course,
yes,
that
yeah,
would be the obvious thing, but it could be something. And it's quite interesting, the stories that come out from identifying and releasing those issues. You don't even have to relive. Some people go to therapy for years and years, but this, you don't even
yeah.
have to relive the trauma. You just kind of identify it, poof, gone.
Exactly. So yeah, so with you're not reliving it again. So what happens is, if someone says, I would like to look at, so we will look at something particular. So then it narrows it down of, okay, is there a trap? First we ask, is there a trapped emotion? And first off, before we even start, is, do we have your permission? We can never go in and, as a practitioner, we never go in without your permission. That's a huge thing. Then it's like, you wonder why. Well, why are things not working for me in this particular, we kind of narrow it down. It could be relationships, different parts of your life. And then we go in and we'll say, okay, is there a trapped emotion? And we will narrow it down, and we'll find out what age you were. And so then it will go into, okay, so then, and then I'll do a scan as well with the energy, because it'll say it's like it could be in your left hip, say. So
Yeah.
you've been carrying a pain in your left hip. You've been, you're not getting forward in life. So then it's like, and then then it narrows it down to when it happened. So if I say 7 years old, it could be 6, 7, or 8. So it's like a year on either side, and it'll be, yeah, whatever emotion it is, fear, or it could be anxiety, it could be just crying, it could be, any, there's so many emotions, but it'll narrow it down what it is. And sometimes people go, no, I don't recall anything. But a lot of times people go, I remember, I've forgotten all about that.
Right.
Or people will go away and then they'll email me back and go, I talked to my mom, or I talked to my sister, or I talked to a family member, and you know what? Such and such happened on that time. That is when a car accident happened. And I saw so and so get out of that car, and it stuck, and you
Yeah.
didn't realize it stuck with you. Like, and it's just things you can witness. It could be somebody says something, or it might be, and sometimes there's very dark, traumatic things that happen, but it doesn't take you back into it. It helps just clear it.
Mm-hmm. And do you believe, do you believe that when, as a practitioner of emotion code, you're talking to that person's higher self?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because your higher self wants you to heal. Your higher self is there
Yeah.
to bring you to a higher, happier place where everything is possible. And we're here on this earth to learn certain lessons in life. And, sometimes, we call it the bus stop conversation. Before you come to earth, you say, well, I want to learn about forgiveness. Well, what is the ultimate forgiveness? And somebody else at the bus stop says, well, I'll help you with forgiveness if you can help me, learn this. So it
Yeah.
could be somebody that at the bus stop with you. So when you get onto earth, you had an agreement that at one point in your life, you were going to learn forgiveness, and they were going to learn, um, you know, uh,
Whatever the other
another,
side of the.
yeah. So they will do something particular to you, and then you forgive them, and they will have to understand that humanity is actually a kind place, and
Yes.
or it could be forgiving themselves, or it could be, so things happen for a reason, and we
Right.
just,
Right.
yeah.
It's like, and I always say that the challenges that we're presented in life are lessons that we choose to learn. And then, I have a client now who's like, I don't understand why I I keep getting into relationships and they end with him cheating again and again and again and again. She's like, just has a long history of this. And I was like, well, nobody wants to hear this, but this is an opportunity for you to look at yourself and your soul, and what are the patterns that your soul has set up for you to repeat again and again, to learn self-respect, self-dignity, standing up for yourself, self-love, all of those things that I don't think she has been bringing. And I don't believe she's here. She's local. That I don't believe she's bringing into the relationship, right? She's not entering a relationship from a healthy place to begin with. And so,
Mhm.
it's kind of classic, but it's so true. So anyway, very interesting
Exactly.
stuff.
Yeah. And why is it, sometimes we'll go into a relationship and it's like you don't have the trust, and you can go into a relationship where you sabotage the relationship, not thinking you do, but you do when you don't trust the person, and you say, oh, well, they're going to cheat, or you have that feeling, oh, they're going to be cheating, blah, blah, blah. You kind of bring that on. But then look back. Did you have somebody in your past who cheated? Could be a parent who did. Did you see one of your parents?
Mhm.
Or did you see somebody that you respected and you saw them? It could have been just a perception of them cheating. They may not have, but it might have been a perception that you saw. And then the next thing you know, it's like, and I'll say for um, one of the things that I actually had to work through was, and that was a trust issue in relationships, because I did catch my dad cheating on my mom.
Oh,
And that was something. And of course, being intuitive, it's like trigger went up.
Oh
Something's
my.
wrong in my life.
Yes.
Something's not right.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately, I was the one who caught him cheating. Well, my mom did, but my mom said, if you ever hear him whispering on the phone, let me know. And I'm like, oh,
Oh
Dad's
my
whispering on the
gosh.
phone. And I'm yelling at the top of my lungs in the room that my dad's in, that he was
What a
cheating
terrible situation to be put in, though.
as a child, right? And from there, and then after, unfortunately, my mom went through quite a hard time. She had
Yeah.
us three kids that she raised by herself. My dad, once he left, I mean, he was already on his way out already at that point, and and then I heard, oh, men cheat, and so that kind of got into my head.
Sorry, any men in this chat.
But
Sorry.
that's not the truth. Not every man cheats, and that is just, unfortunately, it was my dad,
Mm.
and so that stuck with me. So I had to learn to release that. Then I
Yeah.
had to learn that I can trust, and there are, loving relationships and trustworthy people out there. But I had to learn trust.
Hmm. Absolutely. I mean, I think that's a big one. Trust is a big one. I see that all the time with my clients. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm curious. I'm really excited to hear about how the hypnotherapy goes. Is this QHHT, or are you practicing it like more traditional hypnotherapy?
I am I am practicing more traditional hypnotherapy,
And for
but
anybody
this
who doesn't know, QHHT was the Dolores Cannon method, etc. But yeah,
yeah.
go
So this is going to take me some time before I get completely certified.
ahead.
It's a long, like it
It's a lot.
is lots of work into it, and lots of, and it's but when going into the hypnotherapy, it is going to the situation where, I feel people always want to change, and it's also part of the hypnotherapy too, is opening up your spiritual connection.
Yeah,
I can do a session with doing a hypnotherapy where you are actually going in and meeting your spirit guides
that's
and
amazing.
having a conversation with them, saying, can you please open up? Can you please talk to me?
Right.
And then people go, that was crazy. Because now I hear them all the time. Or they'll be going, I thought it was BS. But no, and then they'll give me a message,
Hmm.
and I think it's great, because then somebody's actually giving me a message
Yeah,
from their guides that said,
right,
please tell her this, or
right.
say this to her and see,
Oh, that's so interesting. Really, really cool. Well, I realized we have about, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes left here. We had talked about, if anybody is interested, we can open up and take a few questions. And uh, Donna and I both, yeah, as many of you already know, we both do tarot. We just read intuitively. We can pick up on things. I also have my favorite. Where did I put my dowsing rods? Oh, yeah, I had company and stayed in this room. I have my dowsing rods as well. So if anybody wants to put a question or two in the chat, and I see one already from Nibra, I'm going to put up a little banner here. Um,
okay.
and so if anybody wants to, did you have anything else you wanted to add about the work that you do while we wait for some of those questions?
Well, I was going to ask you, how is it with when you do the energy work and when you are working with the healing, how is it that you, like, I know how I get the messages.
How do I experience it?
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because in my healing work, I am often, well, I think it's because of the way that I started. Um, I started with hands-on healing, and so my hands with the acupressure, and what you're doing is you feel the energy, you know, through people's meridians. Um, and then through the years, again, like I said, it became more remote. But now I can really kind of, I can remotely kind of scan a person's physical body and I get the places in their body. I actually feel a sensation in my hand. It's usually my left hand, which is our receiving side. As I go down the body, and I'll say, and I can sort of pinpoint chakras, or areas of the body that need attention. And I will also feel it in my own body. So I'll be like, my
Yes.
back hurts. Is that you're having kidney trouble, or or whatever, my left knee or something like that. And I'll feel it briefly in my own body. I ask not to feel it for long, right?
Yes.
But I don't appreciate feeling other people's work. But like for instance, I was doing a reading with somebody, or we were actually in a practice session, and I'm going to start some things while we're chatting. But this woman is a phenomenal medium, and she had, so I could tell that she was, she was a little quieter that night, and she said that this was on Zoom, and she said, I feel like I'm getting a migraine. And so again, this is about how we, in our healing work and in our psychic work, it's important to have boundaries. But at the time, I was really just kind of throwing myself out there, and really trying to feel in. And I went to bed with just a throbbing, pounding headache, which I don't typically get. And there was no reason why I hadn't eaten or had anything to drink that was unusual. I wasn't getting sick. So I called her the next morning, and it was interesting because I had taken, I'd taken something for it and nothing took it away. And by the morning, and at the time I was just thinking, I have a headache. This is weird. But then I was like, oh my gosh, I picked up her headache. And I took it on myself. And so I woke up in the morning and I contacted her, and it just sort of stopped at around 7 a.m. the next day. And I just sent her a message, and I said, what time did your headache stop?
Yeah.
Like, it was this morning after I got up, and I was like, well, darn it. I had it all night. So thank you very much.
Yeah, sharing is caring.
Yep, that was on me. So I mean, I think as healers, we also have to recognize how to protect ourselves and not carry things that other people are sharing. But there are also messages for us too. That's how they come through. So
Sure.
we don't have time for too many questions, but I'm starting.
I do have somebody who's passed over, and it's a male. I don't know who this is for, so I'm just going to say it. This is really kind of pushy. So he's got dark curly hair. It's short. I would say he's got blue eyes. He's kind of on the paler, and he's got hearing loss in one of his ears. He's saying that, no, I didn't really, but yeah, he did. He's saying, and it was more because of loud music, or it was something in where he worked. There was a loud noises all the time. So he lost his hearing in one of his ears, or it was muffled. But he's coming in really strong, and he's just wanting to say, whoever this is for, he's trying to get a message out, but he's here. And he just wants you to know that he's here and he's watching.
If this sounds like someone you know, please chime in. Okay? If you feel like this is even remotely your dad or your uncle.
Yeah, if this guy, and he was like in his, I would say,
mean to do that,
early 20s. This is what he's showing me, that this is his age. Like, he's in his 20s. He's really rambunctious, and I would say this was probably in the 70s that I'm seeing him. Like, that would be about the time he had the jean jacket. He had the he was very charismatic, and he just really didn't care too much about what people really thought of him. He just really loved life. So if anybody can connect to this guy, he's just letting you know that he's here. He's never left you. But he really liked the rock and roll, like he loved going to concerts and being up by the speakers, and it blew his ear.
What's very interesting that you're picking up on right now, Donna, is that I have had in my right ear, which is my hearing ear, I've had like an allergic like pressure in my ears, and especially my right ear, for the last couple of days, interestingly enough. But sometimes that could be, again, this is spirit coming through to sort of bring through messages. And I'm getting a chill as I say that too. Because I've never had this like weird pressure in my ears. It's been for several days now. So
Yeah, yeah. It came in and it pressure, and it was muffled. So that's telling me that in the ear they had lost hearing. So if anybody can relate to this person, but they and a grin, like this grin on their face, went like they got away with murder because of that grin kind of thing. They would get into trouble, they would just grin, and people just
nobody's claiming this guy, huh?
no.
I don't see anybody claiming him.
Yeah.
All right, chime in if you think of it, but and it may come to you later, like, and this happened to me once too, where somebody was like, and she was blah blah blah, and she had this, and she had cancer throughout, and it was like, duh, it was my stepmother.
Yeah.
And they even got a first initial and everything, and it was like a gallery, reading kind of like this. So,
yeah. Well,
anyway.
he's got Dayton's on. If anybody knows what a Dayton is, that's a black boot. It was black leather boots, jean jacket, and I could just see him in a white shirt underneath. So
whoever this is, he's giving me chills all over. These guys are just talking about food. Well, you're making us hungry. All right, well, let me put up some questions, and if anybody thinks of who the man in the Dayton boots is, who wore the jean jacket, then let us know.
Yeah.
But Nivra asks, will I be able to join my husband in a third country before next May? And yeah, Nivra, that's a good question. I'm going to use my dowsing rods quickly. If you want to go ahead and read.
No, go ahead, and then I can go after. Yeah.
All right. So for Nivra, will Nivra be able to join her husband in a third? Look, I'm getting this is a very strong yes. When it crosses like this, that's a yes. Okay. And it feels, let's see, let me just straighten out. Will it be in 2026? In 2026, it's like close. Look right here. So maybe right at the end of the year. Gosh, I have chills again. So your man in the boots he keeps giving me chills.
He's coming in strong. I know he's so. Nivra, what's coming in is that you've been things have been holding you back. Is there red paper, like red? You gotta. There's a lot of red tape to this. There's a lot of things holding you back. It's almost like you have to balance things. Is what they're showing me, and but they're also showing me that. And I pulled a card because I said, okay, show me the end result. And if you look at this is the family all together.
Nice.
So it will happen, and this is partnership with kids. This is blood ties. This is inner circle. This is family influence. So you may be having the family influence. Somebody's going to be writing a letter. So is this that you are trying to go and live in another country, and you're trying to get where you can immigrate into that country, or that you can get a visa to work? But they're showing me that.
I know Nivra's husband was trying to come here, but times being what they are. Are you trying to go there, Nivra? Yeah.
So yeah, they're saying 2. So this might be 2 months, or February. It might be that you might have to wait a bit. But by August next year, this August, you're going to hear something, but something's going to be holding you back in August. Something's going to hold it back even more. But look for August of next year. So February, things might start easing up, and that the paperwork will be done, and then August, it will be more of a settled, more of a definite answer.
Yeah.
But I see it is coming to fruition. It's just going to be a little delayed.
Yeah, I see the government influences with the Hierophant as well. And I see, but I do see things coming forward for you. It's sort of like hold pattern, hold pattern, hold pattern, and then boom, things kind of break loose and you're able to start moving forward and manifesting that opportunity. So there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Nivra, I know this has been a long time coming, so we're thinking about you. All right, we'll move on to another, and I'm not sure if we can get to all these questions, but we'll do a few anyway and just see what we can do. How about a word from my brother? Oh, I'm going to give that over to you.
Okay. So Craig, your brother didn't have short curly hair and with blue eyes and quite the smile, and hearing loss in one ear. So I'll just wait to see what Craig has to say about that, because if that's not so with your brother.
Venus says that she has somebody who wasn't deaf in one ear but had a constant ringing from working work in Marines.
Okay, so that might be it. Did they have that coloring?
Everything except the eye color and curly hair sounds just like my dad. He was in his 20s too, in the 70s.
Okay.
Venus Pisces. Okay. So we'll tune into your brother as well, but just wanted to let you know it sounds like you might have.
Okay, no. Okay, so so I will see if your brother comes in. Okay, so they're asking me who is Mike, and so I don't know if your brother is Mike or if yeah, so okay, so when I get the name of Mike, it might be a microphone. So was your brother somebody who really announced things loudly, or wasn't one to be shy to get up on stage? Was somebody who always communicated? So your brother wants to communicate with you, so you can feel your brother around. So what is happening on your bedside table? So there's something about on the bedside table or something. Michael was his middle name. Okay, thank you. But he wants to say, but he's like Saint Michael, like he's like, yeah, I'm that good. But he's not shy. He was quite he's charismatic. But what was him about he wasn't shy to get up on stage and get the mic going and getting everybody involved. Like he wasn't anybody to really sit in the corner. If he was that shy, it was almost like he took on another persona.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he's telling you that you need to express yourself a little bit more. You are keeping so quiet, and you have so much to. Is Clara stuff. Okay, so he's telling you that you need to open up a little bit more. You are being a little bit of a recluse, and you're not going out very much. And he's saying, go ahead, Kelly.
No, I've gotten that with his brother before, with readings with Craig before. Like you need to get out more and get, actually, engage more. Yeah.
Yeah, and who is the woman who was the sun and the moon and love you forever? Who was that woman? Was that somebody in your life, or is it somebody that he had in his life? Because there's this woman who's very dominant, who is very prevalent in your life, or
Craig has a spirit friend / what should I say, lover, Craig, Clara Bow, and his mother is also very dominant in his life, right? If I may speak for you, Craig.
Yeah. Okay.
Mother on the other side.
You're old and disabled, so somewhat limited. Your brother is going, well, you're not another way, buddy. So
I always with the brother, with Craig's brother, I always get like I feel like, you know, the noogies, like he was
Yes.
always like ribbing his
Nudge,
brother.
nudge.
Really
Yeah.
kind of that's just the energy that I got from brother. But
Yeah. And
also
I'm,
kind and close to him, except there was like some gentle teasing and
yeah.
playfulness.
There, yeah,
Hmm.
there's this teasing of he's like, well, you're not dead, buddy. You're not dead. Nudge, nudge. Like, in other words, you're not dead everywhere. You're not disabled everywhere. So he's giving you the ribbing. He is like, um, so yeah, they take turns fighting over me. So your brother is just letting you know that, you're not by yourself. Your brother is there. But there is something that your brother does something with. He's telling you to focus on the bedside table. So there's something there that is. Do you have something like? Did he have a Saint Christopher's, like the medal, or is there a chain or with a pendulum,
Pendant.
a pendant? Thank you. Yeah. Your father's name was Michael. Okay. Okay.
That's yeah.
That's Summer. Yeah.
It was Beatrice. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. So Craig, that is for you. They're just letting you know you have to not be so quiet. You need to get out there, and they're saying it's not for you to just sit quietly there. He's not going to let you sit quietly, by the way.
Right.
He's going to he wants you to remember to connect with people.
Mm-hmm. Right. Get out and connect. I get that message as well.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That was nice. Mara Dominguez wants to know who whispers in her ear. I think this is of her. We're speaking of ears, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anything on that? I'm going to just step back and
Sure.
just clear Craig's energy and
clear the energy for a quick sec. Okay, Mara Dominguez. Let me just tune in for a second. I get a feminine energy. I feel like this is like a spirit guide energy for you. I'm not getting that this is I don't believe that this is a deceased ancestor so much as somebody who's a guide for you. But they do have more of a feminine, nurturing kind of quality to them. Actually, now I'm hearing mother, so I don't know if your mom is on the other side or somebody with a motherly, presence. So it could be actually somebody from your family now. It just sort of switched. It's like they corrected me. Okay, let's see here. And Mar. I just feel like this is your guidance, and I feel like sometimes would it be right to say that sometimes it gets louder? Like it feels like sometimes I feel like this presence in when you're not really paying attention, you're not listening, they will kind of up the volume a little bit with you. Let's see. And this is also telling you, I feel like this is a message about kind of going for it, taking control of things in your life, because it feels kind of like maybe sometimes you've taken the back seat, Mar, but they're saying kind of like the message to me feels like pushing you out kind of front and center, that it's time to sort of step forward and sort of claim what's yours. And that's the message that I get. Whether this is a family member, I still kind of feel like this is maybe a past loved one from way back who comes through as a guide for you. But yeah, what do you get? Are you getting anything, or are you not tuning in? Yeah.
What I'm getting is that you need to start taking steps. So somebody's kind of giving you a old reprimand from the other side. So what they're saying is they're telling you to make those moves, like make those first steps, because the next step that you take is your first step up to success. And that is what they're trying to say. So is there something that you've been contemplating, or is there something that you've been kind of working on? the whispers that are happening in your ear is trying to nudge you, like they're saying, come on already.
Yeah, right. Right.
And
it's like you're questioning, like you may have heard, but you're questioning and not really listening, or did I really hear that kind of thing? And so that's why I feel like sometimes it gets even more insistent and pushy. Right?
Yeah, it feels like somebody just put their finger in my ear. So who used to put their finger in your ear?
I can't figure it out, says Mar.
Yeah, so it's some, and I think this is more honestly, you've seen a lot of ghosts. I don't think this is somebody related to you, but I think it's somebody who's guides you, and and they are trying to tell you this is your time to now step up. So especially for the month of July, this is the time when people are quantum leaping, going into what their gifts are. They're opening up, and it's, if you're thinking about it, they're saying take the first step, go take a class, go open up because we are all going to we need more and more people out here with your gifts, helping other people out. So yeah,
that's
exactly
right. I feel like it is in the spiritual realm and in the belief and in taking control of your gifts and really kind of stepping up in that regard. Yeah, I think that's right. All right. Sunshine has just a simple little question. What does Spirit want me to know?
Yeah.
Spirit. Oh, what do they not want us to know? Okay. You go if you're ready. I'm going to pull a few cards and let's see.
Okay, so Sunshine, what they're saying is that first off, they're going, well, you're the queen, but you are very methodical. What they're showing me is that you will do one step at a time. Nothing comes quick and fast with you. I don't know if this is connecting with you, but they're showing me that you plan things out and you take the steps to do it. And there's whenever you feel confused, you step back, and that's the best thing that you can do. But you're feeling a little bit of confusion. They're showing me that there's a bit of a whirlwind around you. There's a bit of a so they're saying, you're doing it the right way because you're taking it one step at a time, and because when you commit, and that is you are going to be successful. Yeah, and all that whirlwind and everything, it's like you're standing still, but everything's twirling around you. Let that happen, and just remember, you can only take one thing at a time, and that's what they're saying is one thing at a time.
Right.
That whirlwind may, things that you're not supposed to deal with may just whirl off on its own.
She says a lot going on right now. Yes. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah. And I also get the kind of the sense of that you can make magic. Like you have the ability to make things happen in your life, and it's about belief and really kind of working hard toward it. But you do have I feel like you've got a lot of things that are distracting you from the ultimate goal. I don't really know how to put this. It's just a sense that I'm getting. So it feels to me like you have to sort of wade through the muck, like through the quicksand before you get to the goal. But you are going to get this, whatever this is, whatever goal this is that you're seeking here, because it feels like you just and I get the sense too with you, Sunshine, that that you've got this, whatever it is. I mean, if this is like the job, or you're trying to open a new, I don't know, a boutique or a thing, or achieve a certain level of success in some area of your life. But it feels to me like you just got, it's like the world has thrown obstacles in your way, and you've got to kind of climb over them before you get to that point. And so I get the same thing, but I think you will be successful in whatever it is. You're going to have a very favorable outcome and be in control of whatever that is.
That's exactly what I got, Kelly. It's yeah, and it's um, but it's the words that they put in my ear was tricky situations. So if you're in a tricky situation and like the whirlwind and obstacles getting thrown in, they're saying that you will plot through it no problem.
Okay. So, and we're going to take, are you okay to take 2 or 3
Yep.
more? And
Yeah, I sure am.
then
Yeah.
the two of us I'm in the hottest room of my house. I think you are too.
Yeah.
It's really hot where we are. We're going to have to go cool ourselves down. But
Yeah.
thank you so much. Next I have Maureen, a general reading. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, we can't get to everybody tonight. We had such a long, lovely chat, but
We did. Maureen, I'm getting roll the dice. So are you taking risky situation? Are you taking risks? Are you gambling a bit on something um that you're kind of taking a risk and you're thinking I'm going to take this step now. And it's almost like you have a double-edged sword, because if you go this way, you'll have to cut that away and you'll go on this path. But if you go this way, then you have to cut that away. So it's almost like you're trying to make a decision which one is more riskier. You're trying to balance it out. Um, but they said roll the dice. That was the first thing when I said, okay, give me.
mm.
So are you playing Yahtzee? um, are you gambling? Are you because they're saying roll the dice, so that is like, yeah, my neck and shoulder are hurting.
It could be
Okay.
taking a chance on something as well. Taking a chance on maybe a
Mhm.
treatment for the neck and shoulder, or taking a treatment on trusting someone, another practitioner or something like that. I do feel too like your life is in, and correct me if I'm wrong, Maureen, did you just have some surgery or something like that? But I feel this like a whole pattern in your life, like a whole pattern, an opportunity to, it is an opportunity, and maybe it doesn't feel like an opportunity, but it is like a downshifting of things in your life at the moment. And I'm having surgery on the 29th for uterine polyps. Okay. All right. And play
That
and
was the sword that they were showing me. Okay.
the sword. Okay. But I feel like what your guides are showing me, Maureen, is more often than not, we've just discussed this a little bit, these medical, physical, what's, kind of like pit stops that we have to take in life are more than just, it's not life hitting us over the head necessarily. It's really an opportunity for you to slow down and look at what take a minute to really kind of tune into your guides and what it is that they want for you. I do feel like this is an opportunity for it, like they're asking you, this is sacral chakra. I just feel like they're asking you to really step into your joy and your creativity, that maybe those have been neglected in the past. The fun things. It's kind of like get out and have some fun and stop, because I do feel for you. It's kind of, grindstone. It's always been that way, but now it's like, okay, let's you know the universe is funny. They come through in a very literal way sometimes, uterine polyps, um, saying, we want you to express your creativity, and sorry, sexuality is part of that creativity and the fun and the joy and all of the things that really bring us joy. And they're just kind of trying to uh, bring that front and center for you, so that you can actually, and I'm seeing like children and just like, you know that kind of play that we all did when we were kids, where you just go outside and you just follow your heart, right? Whatever you wanted to do. um that's the energy that they're showing me. Okay.
Yeah. And they said that you will do well after. It's going to be like, you're going to think, it's almost like, I'm so glad that the surgery's done. Now I can do things. And yeah, that, I think the sword that they were showing me, the double-edged sword, was actually, you're going to be releasing. And so with what you're doing with the surgery, think about how does it affect you? What have you been holding on to that you should have let go a long time ago?
And we just had rotator cuff surgery too. So all the
Yeah.
things right
Yeah.
now. Poor Maureen, you're just facing everything at this moment. But really, I think that's so important. Ask yourself, like I like to ask people when they're feeling like an emotional problem, or we can flip this around too. But when they're feeling an emotion, where do you feel it in your body? Like, where do you feel it sitting in your body? Is it in your chest? Is it in your left, your right elbow? Is it in your, is it in your abdomen? Where does it hit you? Same thing, you can do that in reverse. So your neck and shoulder are hurting. Tune in and ask, what does spirit want me to know from this experience? It's really hard when you're in pain, but we can do it. We can do this and really kind of go into that meditative state and find out what that is that your guides are trying to express to you. But for me, I feel like it is about letting go and having fun. Just letting go and having a little bit of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So let's see. And thank you very much. And we're so sorry, and we're sending our healing to you. Nancy G would like cards for the week. Yes.
Okay.
We can do that for you.
We can do that. And I'm just going to pull a card from 3 decks.
Okay.
Ooh, Nancy.
No, what'd you get? You go ahead. I'm not even.
First off, I got the puzzle. So this is putting things together, your complete fulfillment, perfect match, better together. So this week, for the week, it is going to be a really good week for you. Things are coming together because not only did you get that, but you also got the sun. And the sun, it's the happiness, it's success, it's clarity, it's divine masculine with the puzzle. So things are all coming together. You are going to be in the light, and it's almost like if you've been waiting for a job opportunity or if you've been waiting for news, but you are so intuitive, and that the high priestess comes in. The high priestess is the ultimate knowing of things. You already have that intuition within you. She stands quietly with everything swirling around her. So she is the constant calming within the turmoil, and it's almost like you can just bring all the energy in together, and that's that putting the puzzle piece in it together. So you'll instinctively know what is needed, and you are going to be recognized for but they're saying you are very intuitive, and you've been getting messages this week, and you know something's up this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Exciting. All right, I pulled 3 from the predictions deck for you, and it's interesting. It almost feels like this could be for Maureen as well. And you're welcome, Maureen. So we start with the protect your energy space, right? You can see she's really kind of closed her heart space down. It's saying something's been really kind of challenging to you, and it's time to really kind of, I call it bubbling up, right? You put the bubble of protection, or you get Donna's team of Vikings around you. Yeah. But protect your energy because maybe you're giving a little bit too much. This does feel like family energy too, like you've been spending a little bit too much time in that. End of the battle, which is really nice. So like I said, you've been through some things. We're protecting our energy, but you can see that this, or maybe you don't even know at this point, but things are coming to an end. So whatever that difficulty is, Nancy G, it's coming to an end. And then the third card, which is what reminds me of Maureen, is the healing and recovery. And healing, of course, can be like emotional healing as well as physical healing. So I really feel like this is important for you. It's like the progression of these cards is really nice. It's saying we've been through some things and we're working our way out of them. And look at this final card I pulled from the tarot deck. Says the Ten of Cups, happiness and all of the fulfillment with the family. We see the mom, dad, and the children are right there. It's right there. And anyway, so that's why I feel like this has something to do with family for you, Nancy G. It feels like it's just something that's been hanging over your head that we're ready for it to be done. Okay. And it looks like it's coming. Yeah.
So with your first card, and if you look at the High Priestess on this one, your first card is protecting itself. And if you look at the High Priestess on this card, she's got everything going on around her. She's got the mask on. She's protected. She's got the robe on. She's got the purple robe and it's very protective. So that is, you have that inner knowing, you know what it is. But then when, and in the end, that is the family. It's the sun. It's the happiness. It's the joy, because you have been protecting yourself. And because you do have that answer, that the mystery comes to the forefront, and you've got that puzzle piece that kind of connected with your reading. That kind of,
yes, absolutely. Anyway, and I feel like this is you said for the week, and I do feel like this is coming soon. It does feel like it's been kind of a long haul. So I hope you can relate to that, Nancy G. I needed this. Good. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. And let's do one more, and
absolutely.
And then we're gonna go cool off.
Yeah.
What now? I don't know Celsius. What's the temperature there where you are?
Okay, so if you think of Celsius, so we are right now. Let me just check my
high 20s.
We are high 20s, yeah. So today,
yeah.
So if you ever want to figure out how to figure out the weather, is double it and add 30.
Oh, okay, that's good to know.
So today, so today was 27.
Oh, okay. So it's hot. It's hot. Yeah. It's really hot. Yeah, we were yes. Okay. Yeah.
And now they're calling for rain, so that means thunderstorms probably tonight.
Well, that sounds like a relief. To me, that would be a relief. And that's probably why it's humid there too. All right, I put one more up from Janet DC, and this is interesting, about a dream. Dream of an old work friend and her mother who is deceased. They met me for lunch. I haven't seen Anne for quite a while. Is she on the other side? I'll let you go first, but I'm gonna.
Oh, okay. I'm getting a no, but she is restrained. There's something restraining her, and her mom wants you to connect with her. She wants you to reach out if you can. If you have her number, reach out to her. There's something that's she's being held back with something. So her health might be going, her mobility might be going. Something in her life is going on, and it's time to bring, when you go out for luncheon with the girls and you laugh and you have a great time, and time flies by. You thought you were there for an hour, it's been 3 hours later. It's saying that there's something holding her back. There's something that is going on with her health, and
I get that very strongly. I feel too like she's maybe not doing well physically, and that it would be really great to connect.
Yeah. So I'll leave that to you. Yeah.
This is a card of kind of a rebirth card, but this is a card about going through some things, right? Where after we go through a really serious illness, we're not the same person when we come out the other side. I'm not saying that that's necessarily the problem, because it could be emotional. It could be going through some emotional turmoil too, but I agree with Donna. I think mom is trying to connect the two of you and just sort of remind you of good times in the past. She needs your support. So I don't even know if you know how to connect with her at this point.
Yeah. And I thought, I'll just pull a card just because.
You go ahead.
And it's the Three of Cups. So you need to connect. And
I got the family card, right? The 10 of Wheels, the 10 of Pentacles, right? This is about like bringing that support together, the foundational support together, legacy. Yeah. Yes. So reach out to her if you can. I have her address, but she hasn't answered cards or letters. I will try and connect. Thank you. She's considerably older than me. Yeah, that's interesting that you should say that, Janet, because I do feel like her time is limited here on Earth. And so, it would be good for you to connect with her. If you can, and obviously don't feel guilty if you can't, because you can also connect with her energetically as well if you can't find her in the flesh. Okay.
Yeah, she's I'm finding she's very limited. You might be able to do an address reverse lookup, and you might find the phone number.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tarot Stash is in, and he says, Three of Cups and 10 of Pentacles, connect.
Connect. Yeah, you're like family, right? Old family. Well, guys, thank you so much. I'm so sorry we couldn't get to everyone tonight. We've been at it for an hour and 30, and so Donna and I have to go take care of ourselves a little bit, but we do appreciate everyone coming and getting to know each other. Some of you don't know me, and some of you didn't know Donna Marie. So please check out her channel. It's a lot of fun. And if you haven't as well. Yes, thank you so much. And I just want to wish everybody a really happy, healthy July, a crazy time we live in. Yes, stay cool if it's hot where you are. I know we are sweating. And we all need to kind of, I feel like right now the message is everybody needs to hold the light for this earth, hold space for the changes, and allow. What would you say a final message for everybody is, Donna?
This month is where we have a choice, and holding the light is one of them. And this is where it's your gifts are going to be opening up. So, if you feel an inkling to go and explore your gifts, do it. You won't be disappointed. Even if you just do half an hour a week in just exploring something that really gives you joy, it changes everything.
It really does. I mean, everybody, you can, just by lifting your vibration, it lifts Gaia's vibration, and together we really are being asked to step into, stop living in the fear and all of the worry, and turn off the news and all those things, so that we can move forward as together collectively. Right.
That's right. Yeah. So
very nice.
Okay. So what do you have coming up? What are your next?
Okay, tomorrow night I do my weekly tarot. Not my weekly tarot scopes. It's my dowsing rods show, and I do current events. There does tend to be a lot of political stuff. There's a few things happening, but it can be weather or ETs or whatever people want to ask. We don't usually do personal questions during that time. And then on Saturdays, I do personal questions, personal readings for people. And so that's just me and my guides and my cards sometimes, and whatever intuition that comes on through. What about you? Oh, and then I do tarot scopes once a week. So that's on Saturday or Sunday night.
Sunday nights, yeah. I try and pop in when I can. So on July the 11th, I have Akila and I, that is 11 Pacific time, 11 a.m. And then I'm just going through my, I have the dentist, but I don't think you really care. And
I need
then
to
on Monday, July 20th, I have Tarot Stash, and I are it's red flag, green flag. We do, and it's messages from spirit. Oh, sorry, he just said, would you say a way of holding light is recognizing the dark? Just a question that popped in his head.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I would say recognizing what we need to let go of. Sure, absolutely. Or staying away from those dark energies that maybe draw some of us in. Whatever that.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I have Hershey, and she's shadow reader. Her and I are on August the 4th at 8:30 in the morning.
Oh,
So,
8:30.
and 8:30, and then of course by the end of the month I should have August energy for each initial. So check out the channel and you can see. But everybody from my channel, please check out Kelly's. Go subscribe. It's in the description, and I will pin it for afterwards. So if you want to come back to the replay, her link will be there, and
Thank
you
you.
won't be
And
disappointed.
vice versa.
Yeah.
And vice versa. And I forgot, I am going to be on with Kelly Healer this week on Thursday as well. So starting to get back into some collabs after my busy summer. So thank you so much, Donna Marie. I hope that some people will
Yeah.
we're expanding our community. So I love that.
That's right. Yeah. So,
All right,
so
guys.
please check out Kelly's channel. I know that you'll really enjoy it. You have great content, so I think people will,
Thank you.
go and
All
subscribe.
right.
And yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and say good night now, and everyone have a beautiful, beautiful night. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.